My name is Jessica Arget, and I'm here today to teach you about teaching improv to children. This is the first video, and it is all about introductions. Now, I've been teaching at the Hideout Theater since 2006, which is a very long time. I'm youth programs director and co-owner there, so I know a little bit about teaching improv to children. Let's get started. The first thing is introductions. I like to have all the kids gather together outside of the room and then bring them all in together. That gives a serious amount of energy. They're excited as they're coming in. They're coming in together, and it keeps them from having that like awkward moment of coming in and not really knowing where should they sit, how do they do things, that sort of stuff. If you bring them all in together, they're already starting out on this positive note of knowing where to go and knowing what to do. So it makes it really easy for them. Then I bring them onto the stage or stage area. We'll cover setting up your classroom in a different video. You bring them onto the stage and have them in a circle. Then immediately I start with a game that is easy to master and guaranteed success. I want them to start playing immediately so that they know that this is what the class is about. Children learn a lot more through doing than they do from hearing people talk about it. So literally walking them through the steps of this is how this class is going to go makes it so much easier for them to understand what's happening and where they need to be in this situation. I usually start with the game pass the clap. So what happens is I'll clap first, then the person next to me claps, the person next to them claps, the person next to them, all the way around the circle until it gets back to me. Then we'll do simultaneous clapping. I'll turn and clap with my neighbor. They'll clap with me, and then they turn and clap with the next person. Then that person turns and claps with the next person on around. We usually do that a few times. It gets faster. It gets better with the claps coming at the same time. It is almost impossible to mess up, and it is oddly satisfying to have the like pops one right after another. It's very engaging. Even if it's not like a high amount of fun, it's very like, oh, I see what's happening here. And it's a challenge that they're not used to. This teaches the kids a couple things right away. First of all, it says your part individually is important and necessary, and the group works together, and by working together we make cool things happen. So those are some really important things to tell the kids right off the bat. It also suggests very forcefully that you are going to have fun in this class. This class is about playing and enjoying yourself and working together. So that's a really great introduction. Once we've got that, maybe played another game, maybe a name game or whatever, then I'll sit them down, still in the circle, still on the stage, and we will have introductions. So then I make sure that everybody has their we know everybody's name. I like to say how old you are. And then I like to add a little bit of personal information, like what's your favorite dessert? Or what's your pet's name if you have a pet? Or if you don't have a pet, what kind of pet do you want? Stuff like that. Just to get what you want, your goal here is to not only hear the child's name, but to give long enough for the other children to get a little sense of who that person is. A whole lot of personality will come out in the 3 or 4 sentences that they say in that moment. And that will give everybody a quick snapshot into who each person is. Great. Then I might tell them where the bathroom is, and I might say anything else that's absolutely necessary, but all the other rules, that sort of stuff, I don't tell them yet. We get back up. We start playing more games. Oh, I do let them know like who I am and where I am, you know, that I'm the teacher and blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Then we get back up and we start playing games again. Now, what's going to happen pretty soon is that something will go wrong. For example, one of the first things that'll happen is I'll put them into little groups, 2s or 3s, and then I'll want them all to come back together, and I will have a hard time doing that because they'll all be talking and it's hard to get everybody's attention. So I'll say, hey guys, I had a hard time getting everybody's attention. You were all talking, which is great, as you should be. But then when I needed to bring everybody back into focus, that was difficult. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Almost immediately, because they do this in other classes, somebody will come up with the idea of an attention getter. So what I have done is I have laid responsibility for the class in their laps. I've told them this is something that we need to have happen. How do we have it happen? They have come up with the idea, and they'll usually come up with the method. A lot of times it's I'll clap, and they'll clap like that. Or I'll be like, show me what I'm doing. Show me what I'm doing. Something along those lines is a good attention getter. And the idea here is that they have taken ownership for it. So if they have realized they've seen the problem with you, they've experienced it, they've immediately jumped into what solution needs to happen. And because it is their solution and they came up with the idea instead of it being top down, a lot of times they'll have more buy-in to it. So that's what you want. Also, at the same time, it shows them that they have the ability to create this class, to create elements of this class. And in improv, that's something that they really need to have. They need to have that self-confidence that they are an important, their voice is important, and what they're doing is important. So right away, you got that, which is fabulous. That's what you want. Now, other rules will come up as we go along, and I like to just stumble upon them. Like I said earlier, one that happens frequently is that we'll be playing a game called Category Die, and one of the kids will correct one of the other kids. So it'll be like, oh, I don't know, cities in the US, and one of the kids will say London, and another kid will say, that's not in the US, that's in England. And then the first kid will say, London is a place in Texas. And then somebody else will say, it's not a city though, it's just a little town. I'm making this up. Kids have these kind of arguments all the time. It's hilarious. And I'll say, okay, cool, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much, because you've brought up something that now we need to talk about, which is we don't correct each other in class. We especially don't correct each other in this game. And then I start talking about, like, how does it look to the audience when you correct somebody? Like, how does it feel to be corrected? Oh, do you like it when somebody corrects you? That kind of stuff. Now, at this point, the kid who's done the correcting is probably going to start feeling a little bit of like embarrassment, or even worse, maybe some shame. So I make sure to go back and say to them again, thank you. Thank you so much for doing that, because we would not have known that we shouldn't do it unless we stumbled upon it. So thank you for doing that. Now we all know, and we can move forward. And then that gives them a chance to be like, first of all, somebody's thanking them, which is great. Second of all, everybody in the class now sees that mistakes are acceptable, and not even acceptable, but celebrated. So that's a really good lesson for them to learn right up front is, hey, it's okay. It's not just okay to make mistakes, but when we make mistakes, things get better, right? Let's do this. And then, if they correct again, usually all the kids will say, hey, no correcting, because they have discovered that themselves and worked on it together with me. So that is how I generally start an improv class. And it generally, doing these types of steps makes it so that the kids know that they're having fun. They know the things that they have to know, and they also know that as they go along, they're going to find out more stuff, but it's not going to be a gotcha situation. They're always going to be learning and growing in a very positive way so that they can continue. And so this is a great underlying lesson for improv. And I hope if you do this, that you will let me know how it went. Let me know if you have any thoughts on this. Also, I plan on doing 10 of these videos. So if you have any subjects in particular that you would like for me to cover, please let me know, and I can make more of them. If you're interested in teaching improv to kids, I do have a book for sale. It's called Conducting Chaos, Teaching Improv to Kids and Teens, and it's for sale at Amazon or at your independent booksellers. I'll put some information in the description here. And I'll also put in my website, where I have syllabuses and other resources that might be helpful to you. Thank you all very much. Have a great day. Bye.